Good evening, everyone. If you will please take your seats. Thank you for coming. Okay, you ready to get started and having a great evening? Yay. Okay, I love that enthusiasm. All righty, so welcome to the 2024 Women in Sustainability Leadership Awards. I am so excited to kick off this incredible celebration, the second year as a convening partner of GreenBiz, and the 10th anniversary of the Women in Sustainability Leadership Awards. To another sold-out crowd. It just gets better and better every year. And how perfect is it that our 10th anniversary falls on Valentine's Day? So this is much as a celebration of our love for this planet that gives life, as it is to honor the longevity of the Women in Sustainability Leadership Awards organization and to welcome the class of 2024. So really, what we do with an open heart. And we have such a great experience in store for all of those here in person, as well as the folks that are watching virtually. It's going to be fabulous. The awareness of this award continues to climb every year exponentially. And it's really because of the authenticity and the credibility of the women that receive this award. And tonight we welcome 10 new women leaders into the heart and soul of WSLA, which is an organization dedicated to recognizing women sustainability leaders that have a track record of selfless determination, persistence, and achievement. So through this recognition, these women are elevated. They get greater confidence to pursue new challenges, really with even greater authority and influence, which allows them to do even more, which benefits all of humanity. And that's really what this award is about. So we open this evening with a very special thank you to our diamond level sponsor, HMTX Industries. So I happen to be the Chief Sustainability and Impact Officer at HMTX Industries. Thank you. I appreciate that. And together we will make a toast to this international flooring manufacturer that has a big heart for WSLA. So you may not realize this, but we have a tradition and we have a special drink. It's a basil gin gimlet. And so it is with this wonderful basil gin gimlet that I toast HMTX Industries, a thought leader in the global flooring industry whose brands, HMTX Commercial, HMTX Global, Halstead, and Metrofloor, they provide wonderful flooring products for such a range of customers, everybody from retail to commercial, institutional, as well as the homeowner. So cheers to HMTX Industries and their generous support of the Women in Sustainability Leadership Awards this year as in previous years. Oh. Appreciate that. And I do want to mention that according to the global nonprofit organization Catalyst, the percentage of women in senior management is rising incrementally, which is good news because when women are leaders in industry, the companies that they represent are more sustainable. And the proportion of women in senior management roles is about 31%. I'm very proud to say that we have beat the percentage at HMTX Industries, and we are at 39%. And yay, HMTX. You can see some of my colleagues in this image. So at this point, I would like to recognize our sponsors who, without their support, we would not be able to have this event tonight. So if there are any of the sponsors here in this room, if you would kindly stand so that we could recognize you, that would be great. And as well as on the phone, okay. And I'd also like to point out that there is a couple of students in the room that did these beautiful photographs. I think Laura McGeary is the photographer. There she is. Thank you. And Peace Petals donated the lovely flower arrangements. So thanks, everybody. Again, another round of applause for the sponsors. Okay. So next, I would like to talk about the brief history. And I joked a little earlier about how I show this dorky photograph every year. But really, it's so important because this is the first year. This was in 2014. And this awards program began by Green Building and Design magazine. And I was one of the 2014 awardees along with these other women. And you can see how excited we were, even though we were in this very dark bar in San Francisco and we could barely even see one another. But we were just excited about the prospect of having this award. So what happened was I attended the award ceremony in 2015 and met the women for one night. And then I met them in 2016 and everybody went home. And then in 2017, I thought, well, something's got to change here. You know, I'm tired of meeting these people for one night and then they're no longer a part of my life. So I had this plan that we would form an alumni group. And Lisa Colicchio there was at my side when I mentioned this. And she actually was one of the few people that said, yes, let's do it. And so in 2017, that's what we did. We founded the WSLA Alumnae Group for all the award winners. And this was really important because, you know, we could support one another through job changes, career changes, whatever would come our way. Now, in 2020, the ownership was transferred to me. And I'm talking about the entire awards program. And at that same year, I also decided to make this a nonprofit, a 501c3 organization. So that was kind of the start of it. And then we became a convening partner of Green Biz in 2022. Thank you, Green Biz. And that has further elevated this, you know, this program is the only global awards program of its kind, one that recognizes highly accomplished women in sustainability leadership that then become part of a network that continues to grow every year because all of the winners automatically become part of the network. So to learn more about the organization, I'd like to share the mission statement. Here it is. It's pretty simple, but we think it says a lot. You can take a look at that real quick. And I want to mention that we are now 125 of the most accomplished, tough, and resilient women who have dedicated our lives to a better world. So thank you. Our commitment to peer-to-peer mentorship is at the heart of this organization. And we become lifelong allies in a network that we can always count on. And we are truly a global organization. We have members in China, in El Salvador, India, and the UK, and along with Turkey, Mexico, Germany, Australia, Pakistan, and the US. So In terms of the alums that are here tonight, would you also please stand and be recognized, as well as those in the chat during the Zoom meeting? Go ahead, stand up so we can recognize the alums. Yay. Hey, it's really wonderful to see all of you. And every year I look forward to this as somewhat of a reunion. And I want to recognize now our officers. And we couldn't do it without you. And then our amazing board of directors. Here they all are. And again, we are all volunteers doing this. So there's a lot of energy that goes into this program. So next, I'm going to introduce Lisa Colicchio. And Lisa, she can't wait to come up here. Lisa is a loyal LA resident that attended California State Polytech in Pomona. She has a strong background in ESG work in both building management as well as in the transportation sector. She is the director of sustainability at MetroLink, which is the LA rail system, and it's also the third largest in the country. So I'd like all of us to congratulate Lisa on her pinnacle achievement in transitioning the entire fleet to 100% renewable fuel. And so this has set a tremendous example for all of the other transportation systems in the country. So it's quite a feat that she's accomplished. I've also learned that Lisa was recognized as an LA impact maker, and she has made a huge impact at WSLA. She organizes the judging process. She organizes this entire event every year as she heads up the program committee. In fact, I know that Lisa can do anything that she puts her mind to. So Lisa, come on up and you can continue the program. No, you don't. Okay.
Thank you, Rochelle, for such an amazing intro. And good evening, everyone. Each year, I seek inspiration for this very moment, whether it's delving into current events or reflecting back on the past, like remembering the groundbreaking work of Eunice Foote. In the 1800s, she was the original trailblazer and first scientist who discovered the impact of climate change. In the past, when organizing this prestigious award ceremony, we would diligently search for external thought leaders, inspiring keynote speakers. But this year, something pivotal happened. 2024 marks a milestone moment for the Women in Sustainability Leadership Awards, our 10th anniversary. Looking back on the journey of over 125 incredible women that we've honored over the past decade, something powerful dawned on me. We haven't just built an award program, we built a powerhouse of leaders. We've scaled the mountaintop. So as we stand here tonight, atop the WSLA mountain, let's pause, take a breath, and gaze down at the valley below us. Let's spend this moment reflecting on our remarkable journey and expressing our deepest gratitude for how far we've come. WSLA has fostered an inclusive and powerful circle of women in sustainability spanning the globe. Did you know 10% of our past award winners hail from outside the US? This award program serves as a beacon, illuminating their extraordinary achievements and tackling the monumental challenges of our changing climate. While we are here tonight to honor the 2024 winners, let's also celebrate ourselves, the collective force that is the WSLA community. We are the change makers, the innovators, the leaders who inspire. Remember, we are the keynote speakers, the ones who hold the power to inspire generations to come. Let's continue our ascent hand in hand, pushing the boundaries of sustainability and leaving a legacy for a healthier planet. And speaking of a healthier planet, I'm so excited and humbled to have Felicia, who is a curandera, a medicine woman, join us and provide a traditional opening to begin our event. But first, I'll share a little bit about her background. Traveling the world with her stories and prayers, Felicia Cocozen Ruiz is an award-winning author, Indigenous food activist, and traditional healer from the Sonoran Desert. Oh, shoot. Thank you. Her work for today and for all of tomorrow is to support and revitalize what is sacred by supporting the living legacy of ancient traditions. Felicia's work shines light on the mysteries of life and the importance of honoring the connections that exist among all beings, Mother Nature, and the cosmos. Her work has been featured in Food and Wine, Spirituality and Health, Forbes, and Padma Lakshmi's Taste the Nation on Hulu, among many other media platforms. She is currently working on her third book, sharing stories for children in hopes of carving out healing pathways for our future generations. So now I want to turn it over to you, Felicia, to lead us.
Thank you. So before I continue, can everyone hear me? Okay. So kwali tonali kwali teotlak, sengiritamu, buenos dias, buenas noches, good afternoon, good evening, all of it. I feel like I like to greet people in many different languages, and all of those languages, whether the time was right, were all part of my lineage. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit of an echo for right now. I'm going to hold this. Okay. So let's begin again. Kwali teotlak, sengritamu. My name's Felicia Ruiz, and I'm here for you today to offer some opening words for the important work that you do. I come from a strong lineage of medicine women, and because I'm here tonight in the capacity of a medicine person, it is my, I don't want to say expectation, but it is expected of me to announce myself as a curandera, because when I travel all over the world, sometimes I'm traveling as a cook and sometimes I'm traveling as an author. And so because I'm doing an opening blessing for you, it is expected for me to at least tell you who I am. So I am the great granddaughter of Plajeres Lucero of Isleta Pueblo in New Mexico. I am the great granddaughter of Delfinia Garcia of Tijeras Canyon, Ocopin in New Mexico. I am the granddaughter of Eugenia Hinzel of Old Town Albuquerque in New Mexico. And I am the granddaughter of Lupita Benavides of La Manga, which before there was a border would be right there where Colorado and New Mexico connect. And so I am all of those women inside of me. I am also an author, a cook, a writer, a medicine keeper, a wisdom keeper. I am an elder now. I am a mother, a wife. I am a sister, an auntie, cousin, and I'm a curandera. And so what I wanted to share with you today were just some opening words. You mentioned traditional. I'm a modern curandera. I have Instagram and things like that. And so what I'm going to be doing is we're actually going to be meeting out here, because whenever I gather for events, I have done enough events where people are seated and the tables and everyone's trying to turn, and I feel very disjointed. Because I come from an oral tradition, speaking in a circle is the way we share. And it's the way that we recall many memories versus sitting disjointed like this. And so what I wanted to do is invite everybody out into this little foyer so that we could come together as tightly as we can in a circle. And what I wanted to mention before we go out there is I have some items on the table, because when they invited me to open for you today, I took a moment to really think about what I wanted to say deeply. And it really didn't come to me until days really thinking about this, that I wanted to just share about the three sisters. And so if you know anything about companion planting, it's indigenous knowledge. A lot of people like to think of permaculture as the way to go, but that's really an adaptation of indigenous knowledge. And so what I have out here is the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash, all over from Mesoamerica up and down. All of our traditional ways of planting have always incorporated companion planting. We never had monocrops. And so the reason why I wanted to bring those here, because this is an event for women in leadership, right, and sustainability. I wanted to just have some items on the table for people to reflect on perhaps which sister are you? Because corn emerges from the earth, reaching far up into the sky. It offers support for the other sisters. It offers a wider perspective, good vision. It's the oldest sister, so it's looking out for everyone else. Then you have the beans, which are the givers, and they have big, broad, coily, vines that go up, and they travel up into the corn. And what they do is they take the nitrogen, it goes down into their roots, and they distribute the nitrogen into the earth, and they give in that way. So they're really helping the other sisters because they're giving. Then you have the squash that have sticky, spiny leaves, and they're low to the ground. And what they do is they offer protection, because what they do is they deter the little animals from coming and eating everything, and the pests because of their stickiness. And so for me, when I think of all of those, I think of all of you. You're all here tonight offering special gifts that are unique. And I want people, when we go in there, to just kind of take a moment and think, which sister am I? Perhaps I'm actually two sisters. Maybe I'm all three sisters. Perhaps tonight I feel like one sister. And how can you support your other sisters? Just as our Indigenous people have for many years, understanding that there are the three different types of sisters that come together, and together they're stronger. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be speaking out here in circle. I encourage everyone to please leave your phones here. We're not engaging in a ceremony. This is simply a small talk, but I feel that if you can listen more deeply, it's more potent energy. And so if you want to follow me out here, we're going to be a little tight, but please do your best to come into circle.
Thank you. Okay, everybody. We are ready for our exciting interview. So for this next segment, I would like to introduce our speakers. Thank you, whoever is doing that, making noises on their glasses. Thank you. We are going to experience an incredible interview between Heather Clancy and Monica Nikielski on the topic of women, climate, and health. Yes. So Heather Clancy is the Vice President, Editor at Large of GreenBiz, and she is a highly valued board member of the WSLA Alumnae Group. She is an award-winning journalist. She started her reporting career on the business news desk of United Press International, and her articles have appeared in The Entrepreneur, Fortune, the International Herald Tribune, and even the New York Times. It's so impressive. Heather also co-authored the highly acclaimed book, which is an Amazon bestseller called Niche Down: How to Become Legendary by Being Different. We can all relate to that. Okay, Heather is an exceptional and she's a talented interviewer. And I'm just so honored that she's doing this tonight because she is going to be interviewing one of our very own, Monica Nikielski, who won the Alumni Award in the class of 2022. So we are so proud to have Monica amongst the WSLA ranks. Monica, also a published author, is now an employee of the consulting firm Hermida, where she serves as a strategic advisor. Now, she has over 15 years of experience as a sustainability practitioner in the health industry, with such well-known names as Advocate, Aurora Health, and Blue Cross Blue Shield. She is also a very active volunteer, and I must point out that she currently serves on the board of the Healthy Building Network, whose leader of that organization is also a WSLA alum. And this important nonprofit has influenced many decisions that lead to better health for humans and the planet. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is really an honor for me to introduce Heather and Monica and this important topic that they're going to be discussing with you tonight.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. We really appreciate it. And I just want to thank all of you for being here and also the allies in the room. The support that we get across the community is so important, and I just want to acknowledge that. Thank you so much. I had the great privilege of being able to select the person that I got to interview. And one of the reasons, there's something we were trying to establish a tradition actually with this interview, is if we're going to have an award ceremony like this, we should be talking to the people that are part of our network and getting to know them more. So that was the first reason that I thought we should select Monica. But I was also intrigued by the intersection of this topic, the sustainability and health intersection, because as we know, the climate has very profound, and the way the changes have so profound impacts on humans. And we have to remember that. So I just have a few minutes up here with Monica to give you a taste of what she's been doing. But the first thing I wanted to do is start a little bit with her origin story. Because what Rochelle didn't mention is that she's got a degree in medical microbiology and immunology. So I was reading that, I thought, well, how did you go from there to a career in sustainability? I'd love to know a little bit more about what intrigued you and pulled you to use those skills in this way.
Well, I just also want to echo the thanks for everyone being here, and I won't get into that lengthy. You already went into just how many allies and the support and the wonderful community we have. But jumping into history here, I think like many people in this room, I have a nonlinear path. I have a scientific background. I have family experiences that have shaped and influenced what I wanted to pursue, a career that aligned with my personal philosophies and beliefs. I do have a mother from Ecuador, and traveling, I quickly understood the disparities between those who have and the influences of our upstream decisions downstream on marginalized communities. There was poverty unlike I'd ever seen, among other issues. And so I knew that, interestingly, I pursued an MBA to get out of healthcare. And I went on to a management consulting firm. And it was during that time that we were interviewing executive leaders and CEOs that there was this side of me coming from healthcare, mission-oriented industry, that wanted to know what were they doing as organizations to be responsible citizens. This was back in 2006, right? CSR. And I eventually became the sustainability practice lead. Lo and behold, I've been very fortunate for over 15 years to be able to provide ESG and sustainability advisory support across the healthcare value chain. Organizations that you now recognize as medical devices, biopharma, spent a large portion of that career as a practitioner in the space for healthcare providers and the payers.
So define sustainability from a healthcare perspective.
Oh, geez. So sustainability in healthcare. There are a lot of different ways that we define sustainability. There is economic sustainability, which I'm not going to get into. There is healthcare delivery sustainability, which we just came out of COVID and recognized with workforce shortages and lack of beds the need to provide that type of sustainability. There's ethical sustainability. A lot of people didn't realize that hospitals were running out of beds, and we had to have ethics councils determine and define who would get that last bed. Was it a COVID patient, or was it somebody who was in a car accident and had massive trauma wounds? And then there's environmental and social sustainability. The environmental sustainability is that tied to positive environmental impact, and the social sustainability really is about health equity for everybody, ensuring that regardless of your socioeconomic background, regardless of just any other, separating factor, that you have access to the best quality of care out there.
So you brought up the pandemic, and I think I want to go there right now because the COVID did change things for many sustainability programs in other industries. How did it change sustainability in healthcare?
So
Environmental sustainability particular.
yeah, I wouldn't say it changed sustainability in healthcare. In fact, it strengthened and solidified the need to pursue this work, because within healthcare, they recognized there was a shared commitment and understanding with a healthy planet, you're going to have healthier people. And for them, they recognized that it was an additional strategy that they could leverage. I'm talking about the healthcare sector. They could leverage to create healthier environments. And for them, for healthcare organizations, keep people healthy. Health insurers keep, people out of clinics and visits. What did change was that things slowed down. What did change was that even on my team, I had a nurse who was also operating as a sustainability practitioner. She had to leave and go bedside for 8 weeks and work on our COVID floor. For me, I was also pulled to pick up garbage in our hospitals because we didn't have enough staff, as much as we tried to outsource. So it slowed it down. Unfortunately for others, there was furloughing and people were laid off. But they did recognize as soon as they were able to get past the immediate emergency through COVID, that there was a doubling down. And you can see a lot of that through a lot of initiatives that have emerged since the pandemic. Health and Human Services now has the Office of Climate Change and Health Equity. We now have Joint Commission, which is an accrediting body for health providers, hospitals, and systems, now creating a standard for others to work towards, among so many other examples to share.
So what was your biggest challenge?
For sustainability, priority challenge, oh my gosh. This is a big one and quite controversial, and I wasn't sure how to answer this, but in true Monica fashion, for people who know me, I'm pretty direct and open and candid. There are a lot of challenges in life. There's moving across country. There's having 2 babies and working full time and going back to work 8 weeks afterward. There's, maybe I'm going off script here. There's being the
That's
healthcare
good.
proxy for my sister who had cancer and survived. But I would say those are factors that I could manage. Those were things that I knew that I could influence the outcomes. What I think was the most challenging factor for me was bias. Bias for a lot of different things, because those were external factors that I had zero control over. And so I attacked that bias in many ways, like I'm sure many of you do. It is creating space for safe conversations, right? You come in, you want to talk about carbon, climate change, probably in an environment where they're like, absolutely not. And there's policy and legislation that bans you from even saying the word. But, you create the safe space for dialogue, regardless of, what the bias might be. You're a woman, you're a person of color, you're a person of different abilities, you're leading environmental stewardship. But you create the safe space for dialogue. You listen actively, try to understand their perspective. You use that information to build strong collaboration. Sometimes these uncommon partnerships drive amazing results. And yeah, that was my challenge.
Does the link between climate change and human health get enough attention?
Absolutely not. So poor Heather, I've been knocking on your door and I was like, we need to elevate this topic. All right, how many people here know that the world's first patient was diagnosed with climate change? 2021, Canadian woman was diagnosed with climate change. How many people here know that in 2019?
Could you just say what that means?
What that means is that this elderly woman, she was in her 70s, Canada is very progressive. I don't want to get into the social determinants of health, but they recognize that there are factors and the conditions that we exist in contribute to our overall health outcomes. And they recognize that within this particular individual, there were certain clinical symptoms that she was experiencing, but it only happened on high heat index days, high air pollution days. And there was no other way to address it. And this really progressive physician attributed it to climate change and the changes that Canadians were experiencing because of that. And so now we have climate change as a clinical diagnosis. We have air pollution now being recognized as a cause of death. When we think about healthcare in general, it's 20% of the US GDP, 18 to 20%, depending what statistic you're looking at. It grows 1.5% at a higher growth rate than our US GDP. Look at the Fortune 50 companies. Tell me who half of them are. 10% of, it's been said that 8.5 to 10% of carbon emissions in the nationally is created by healthcare, 4.5% globally. All right, I'm done with the statistics, but I think there needs to be much more attention drawn to this. And I'm a fangirl of Gina McCarthy. So when she came to Harvard School of Public Health, and when she highlighted the opportunity to make this link to health and your friend's health and your family's health and the people you care about, that more people will care.
Yeah. So what are the specific implications for, especially for women and girls?
Oh, gosh. The specific implications. Well, some more, I'm going to throw another statistic at you just really quickly. There's a new research that was conducted and that was published recently, that while women live longer, they exist in sickness 25% more than men. Let that sink in. So, I mean, I could talk other statistics. I don't think anyone's surprised. It's slightly saddening. But I think now that we understand, hopefully that we together can work to address and change that, such as creating space for women. And there are a lot of, I think, drivers that they've identified, such as sex disaggregation in studies, such as listening to women and the symptoms and what they're sharing. I'm not going to call anyone out, but there's a woman who was supposed to be here with me tonight, and we were going to have a girls' week, and she unfortunately couldn't make it because she was sick. And she also mentioned, you know, the complications in the tie to perimenopause. And so I think what this means for women and the emphasis and focusing on it is understanding the issue, these uncommon collaboration and partnerships, and using our strengths.
I have two more questions for you, and then we'll let you get back to completely focused dinner. But we've seen insurance companies pull out of markets in Florida and other places for reasons of physical infrastructure. Would it be odd for the healthcare insurance system to start doing the same for climate change related illnesses?
That was that article, the Wall Street. So this is interesting that you say this, because I pitched this at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts back in 2019 to charge higher rates of our accounts that were creating unhealthy and unsafe environments. So people hated that when I would go out and I'd say, wellness is our bottom line. It is. As a health insurer, you want people healthy. That's why they focus on preventative medicine. And they're like, no, Monica, you can't do that. It's going to annoy people. You know, you can't tell them you sound evil as it is already. I was like, fine, wellness is our top priority. But at the end of the day, you know, we need to start holding, insurance has a lot of influence in holding people accountable. And the foods that they're serving in your cafeteria, the buildings that you exist in and you work in, everything from the building material to the interior furnishings to the air quality that you breathe in. And I think that it's an untapped potential, but it's quite radical. And, you know, it's been an ongoing conversation, but there is one thing that they did do, and that's they created a culture of health toolkit, delineated into 5 key areas with 3 really tied to environmental stewardship: the built environment, food, healthy food, nutrition, and then of course, really focused on climate and carbon emissions. And this toolkit helped communicate to our accounts, what is best in class? Where are you? What are the gaps? And of course, we also use that to gather information because if you know in the insurance business, actuarial and risk will tell us a lot about markets and where we want to invest in, because let's be honest, the humans were our investment. And who we would charge higher rates to based on the illnesses we were seeing in those populations.
So just one final question. What can the other sustainability professionals in this room do, other industries do outside the healthcare system to really support progress on these issues?
Oh my gosh. Earlier, I mentioned uncommon partnership. I think that emphasizing and spotlighting the tie of environment to human health is key. I personally believe that there might be added support that you can get internally. If people don't want to hear the word carbon emissions, talk about air pollution and those other external impacts that you're having on the communities that you operate in the communities you serve. There are partnerships to be had with healthcare and others addressing these very topics. But I really do think that centering health is going to benefit all of us. And while the more marginalized populations are feeling and bearing the brunt today, we're all going to be affected.
Thank you so much, Monica, for sharing just a few thoughts. Really appreciate the opportunity to do so. Thanks. Lisa?
Clicker gone. Someone advance the slide. Next slide. Oh, I don't see it. Rochelle's in your pocket. Ah, there we are. And now we finally arrived at the part of the program we've all been eagerly awaiting to find out who the winners are for 2024. I'm happy to introduce WSLA board member Angela Foster Rice. She'll be introducing the 10 new Trailblazers. Thank you, Angela.
Well, this is the exciting part. I got to this last year and I loved it. My daughters were a little sad I wasn't there here on home on Valentine's Day. By the way, they're teenagers. Why do they really care that I'm home at all? But I was flattered that they wanted me home for Valentine's. And then I told them what I was doing today. I said, this is great. I'm going to be celebrating Valentine's Day with these amazing women doing great sustainability work. And then they were like, that's okay, Mom, you can be gone. So here I am. So I get to do the announcing. So the first, we're going to go through this. There's 8 people that are here, which is amazing. Out of the 10 we're awarding. And we have a 9th person who's going to be zooming in from Mexico. And then one last person who wasn't able to join us. Okay, Laura Bishop is our first person I'm announcing. So Laura has over 20 years of experience working in sustainability, both private and public sectors. She is a corporate board director at EcoVadis, purpose-driven company whose mission is to provide the world's most trusted business sustainability ratings. She's also, on the side, an adjunct professor and leads her own consulting firm. In her past positions, she was chief environmental regulator for the state of Minnesota, including leading the governor's climate strategies. And she was chief responsibility and sustainability officer for Best Buy. So come welcome Laura up here. Love to congratulate you.
Thank you so much. Oh, it's hard when you get to go first, but isn't that why we're all here? Because we kind of went first in this sustainability field, really. So, and they always say that sustainability is a team sport, but when you're starting out a sustainability program, it can be pretty lonely. And you are maybe a team of one. And that's how it has started with me. I've been working in this area for almost 25 years, and you'll always find me at that intersection, even now, of government, business, and the environment. When you're a builder, you have to bring people along. And not only do you bring your boss and your CFO and the procurement division and others along, you bring your family. And I heard someone say about having 2 children. And while I was working at Best Buy, I started when I was almost 9 months pregnant with my first child. And those babies came along. They came along on my travels. I am very pleased that my husband, my Valentine, is here with me tonight. We've been together for 25 years, and he came along, Chuck, thank you. He came along on these trips with the babies when I was nursing the children and as I traveled around the country and the globe, and so did my mother. So it is a team sport, and it's not just the team that you're working with immediately in your organization or in your partners. It is your family as well. With Best Buy, I was there for almost 16 years and building that program, and I saw a problem. And one of the big issues was during the DTV transition and all of those big CRT TVs and what were we going to do with them. And from that, it sprung the Best Buy recycling program. And that was something, again, that I was building first through policy with 25 states enacting EPR legislation, which would be manufacturer responsibility legislation, and then building out the consumer electronics program at Best Buy that has now recycled over 2 billion pounds of consumer electronics. And it wasn't easy, obviously. When I became an officer at Best Buy, there were 12% women officers at Best Buy. When I left after the major turnaround at Best Buy under the leadership of Hubert Joly, who really put ESG and sustainability at the center of the turnaround strategy, there were 40% women officers, and now we have a CEO who's a woman at Best Buy. So it's a really gratifying for me to look back at that time of building and developing kind of that purposeful journey and purposeful company. And it brings me to where I am now. I retired, and then I went and threw myself into government, working for our governor and leading the climate strategy, because that's what you do in retirement, right? And I'm teaching at the University of Minnesota, and we just found out today that our sustainability certificate program just got approved by the Board of Regents. So it's something that we've been leading, and I'm really thrilled about developing, and it's a crossover between the business school and the policy school. Again, that intersection that I find myself at. And lastly, being a board director for EcoVadis. I've been on this journey now with them for 2 years. It is fantastic. They are growing quickly and rapidly, and how great to be a part of a company whose purpose and genuinely defined purpose is to guide all companies toward a sustainable world. So thank you very much for this honor.
Wonderful. Thank you. Oops, not take my notes back. One moment, please. Now we have Natalie Bliff is next. She is Global Head of Commercial Banking. Wow, I just made something up. Commercial Banking and Sustainability at HSBC Holdings, where she is responsible for the sustainability strategy across 1.3 million corporate clients. And she has been at HSBC since 2007 in various leadership roles. Of particular note, Natalie was global head of HSBC's market-leading trade finance business, where she revitalized the business, executing a 700 million transformation program that digitized trade and decarbonizing client supply chains. Prior to HSBC, she was at Deutsche Bank and at Dresdner Kleinwort Benson. She's been recognized as a Financial News Top 20 Women in Finance since 2013. So let me help us a warm welcome to Natalie Blith.
So firstly, Laura, what I should say is fantastic to have somebody from EcoVadis here because they are a thriving partnership with HSBC, which is great and really focused on the smaller clients and enabling them to deliver on their sustainability agendas, which is really critical. Most of our 1.3 million corporates are small clients. So esteemed guests, WSL alumni, and definitely fellow award winners, I am really honored, and now I know even more about WSL and some of the alumni, truly humbled to receive the WSLA award of the class of 24. And the pioneering sort of spirit, the innovative mindset, and the unwavering, resilient commitment that you have shown to this super tough challenge that we have. It's an existential challenge. We all know that. So joining this alumni for me is a really important thing. It's a real privilege, and I am super excited to become part of this exceptional community going forward. As Global Head of Sustainability for HSBC's Commercial Bank, I am really proud of our enduring commitment to sustainability. But this role, you've already said, is not an easy role. It's not easy for any of us. We have a three-lever strategy that sounds really simple and easy. Lever one, we want to transition all our 1.3 million corporates. Lever two, we want to take responsibility for systems change and to decarbonize those supply chains. And to help do that, we are indeed working with EcoVadis as well. And then lever three is we want to deploy a lot of capital to what we call the new economy. And that's infrastructure, whether it's sort of mature sectors like wind, solar, batteries, or the more nascent like green hydrogen. But we also want to support those new climate tech companies. And we've allocated $1 billion to deploy towards the new climate tech to scale them up and get them going. So those three levers sound really easy, and if we get it right, not only will it be prosperity for our clients, HSBC, but also for humanity as well, because we are a big bank. We're around the globe and we're systemic. If you take those 1.3 million clients and you take all of their clients, up and down the supply chain, that is a needle-moving group of corporate events. So, but honestly, my goodness, this is a really challenging agenda that all of us are trying to drive. Our jobs are really tough. And I mean, I don't know about you, but it's super challenging. Every day is a wrestle one way or another. But no one person, no one company or organization can do it alone. And this is where this alumni comes into sort of play, because I think that it's going to be really a part of solving this in terms of partnerships. I think we can get probably 40% there on our own, in our own organizations. To get 100% to where we need is going to be through those sort of critical partnerships. So I see this award not just as a recognition of past achievements, but I think if you look forward, it's also a driver and an accelerant to the work that we've all got to do going ahead. So as we celebrate this moment together, I think that we should also sort of, oh, I've lost my place where I am, sorry. I commit to collaborate with all of you to make sure that we not just challenge the status quo, but we try and push those boundaries and that we are all striving for a sustainable future together. And a huge thank you to Rochelle, Lisa, and the broader team of WSL. And I'm really looking forward to the retreat tomorrow. I've no idea what's in store, but I am committed to contribute. So thank you very much.
Yeah, little does she know there's a tattoo involved tomorrow, but we'll wait till that. No. All right, so next we're celebrating Libby Johnson McKee. At Amazon, Libby led returns, recommerce, transportation, sustainability, and where her and her team focused on zero product waste to landfill. Oh, okay, good. Thanks for advancing that for me. Someone did that for me. Wonderful. And so she helped in creating one of the largest circular economy engines in the world, which is amazing. And notably, this engine reduced waste to landfill to less than 1% of returns and improved the lives of tens of thousands of people in need through automated product donations to Good 360 and their partners. She currently serves as chair of the board of directors at Optoro, the leading reverse logistics and returns management software company. And she also serves as a board director for two other organizations, Evergreen Goodwill of Northwest Washington, which changes lives through job placement and free education, and Good 360, the global leader in product philanthropy and purposeful giving. Wow. So come on up here. We're honoring.
Wow. It's great to be here and I am all in on that tattoo. I got a spot in mind. So first of all, I just want to thank you for this award and recognizing my work in the circular economy. I'm deeply passionate about making the world a change from the take, make, waste system that we have lived in to a circular economy. And so having this award means a lot to me because it's often been lonely, like the other award winners have said. You feel a little bit alone. You can't really talk about it. You're kind of doing it under the radar. And so having somebody recognize your work just feels really, really good. It's also helped me feel seen and part of a community. I've often felt like I wasn't part of a community, particularly of women. So seeing you all here and knowing that you're my sisters, probably not one of three, but one of hundreds, really brings that home to me and makes me feel really optimistic about the future. I want to thank Rochelle Rotman and the WSLA board for making this happen. You tapped into a need that was here to recognize and elevate the women who work in sustainability, which has often gone unseen. You've also recognized the importance of creating community, and because no one does this work alone. Many of us have talked about that. And just on that note, I'd like to thank the collaborators that I had in the work that I've done. My team at Amazon in worldwide returns, recommerce, and transportation sustainability. That's a mouthful. And they were a dedicated group of people who trusted me to be their leader and put in 150% to make that happen and build that sustainable engine for circular economy. They also proved that zero waste is possible at scale and motivated a lot of people around the world to do the same. I would also like to thank Amina Ali and the team at Optoro for giving me a platform after I left Amazon to continue to work in accelerating the circular economy. Good 360 and Evergreen Goodwill continue to do the great work every day of using donated goods that would have gone to landfill to improve the lives of people and to create free job training and education and placement for them. Finally, and certainly not last, I'd like to thank the mentors that have helped me. Their support and guidance has meant the world to me, and particularly Deb Frodel, who is an award winner in this organization. She met with me when she didn't even know who I was. She immediately connected me to people in her network. She encouraged me to believe in myself, in my path, in the mission that I was creating after I left Amazon. And she encouraged me to take risks, like putting myself out there for this award and achieving it. So Deb embodies the definition of a mentor, a connector, and a champion. She's a champion of women, and I want to emulate that going forward. So all of you out there can count on me to be that person for you if I can help you in any way. That's why I'm really excited about being part of this alumni organization and helping this group rise. Lastly, congratulations to all of this year's winners and all of the past winners for all of the work that you do. I am honored to be in your company and excited about the future. So let's go.
So next, we're going to celebrate Desta Rains. Desta is the Director of Sustainability for Sephora, where she leads the strategy and execution. She leads strategy and execution of Sephora's North American roadmap. She works across Sephora's global as well as cross-industry to ensure Sephora utilizes its market position to create consumer awareness and change at scale. In 2023, Desta led the rollout of Sephora's Beauty Repurposed program, an industry-leading initiative to reduce packaging waste. Before Sephora, Desta had engaged in multiple industries, including fashion and technology. And she also serves on a number of boards, including the International Society of Sustainability Professionals and PACT Collective. So welcome up here, Desta.
How many people in this room knew 3 or more people before you walked in here tonight? Handful. All right. My call to action here is before you leave the room, for those of you who don't know 3 or more people, you should leave here knowing 3 or more people. Because what you're looking at in this room is powerful. And the people who are outside of this room, maybe even more so. These people, we are a tribe, right? And we are the women and our allies who have to make things happen. As other speakers have gotten up here and said, it's lonely, but it's not when you think about the connectivity that we have and the power that we can have in working together to create change. That's really when I think about standing here today and accepting this award. What excites me about it is that ability for all of us to come together and make something happen. And I would be remiss if I didn't put a plug in for the Beauty Repurposed program, which is our consumer-facing take-back program at Sephora. We did launch it last year, and we want everybody to bring in clean, empty packaging that you cannot recycle at home to Sephora. So we're really trying to drive the circular model. And also, really where my passion also lies, working at a retailer, is to educate consumers, which all of us in the room are, about what can we do differently and do better to help save the planet that we have here today.
Next, we're going to celebrate Amy Rosler. Amy is CEO of Rosler & Associates, a consultancy firm that delivers strategic solutions to the energy and infrastructure sectors, providing support on leading sustainability and capacity building initiatives. She's also chair of the board of ZS2 Technologies that manufactures building technologies, where she has led development of ZS2's ESG practices at the board level. Prior to founding her consultancy, Amy held senior corporate sustainability roles in the utility, energy, and infrastructure industries, working with large public and privately owned organizations such as Infrastructure Ontario, Clear Result, BC Hydro, and Canadian Pacific Railway. Throughout her 25 years experience, she's led business transformation and technology-driven strategies in the areas of infrastructure building, energy efficiency, emissions reduction programming, corporate social responsibility, and climate change mitigation and adaptation. So please, let's welcome to the stage Amy Rosler, please.
Thank you so much. That sounds way more illustrious than I feel. And also being from Canada, it's called ZS2 Technologies. Right? Yes. So thank you so much to the Women in Sustainability Leadership Awards organization and the board. It's such a treat to be here. I came down from Calgary just for the event tonight, and then I head up to Toronto tomorrow, and it's so incredibly gratifying to see this room full of women as passionate as I am about making a difference. when I was thinking about who to reach out to let them know about this award, and their role in coaching and mentoring me throughout my career, the list just kept getting longer. And when I look back, you know, the power of those coaches and mentors who either had lived similar experience to me or had very different lived experiences to me, the degree of their support meant a lot. And so I'm reinvigorated to bring that forward and sort of seek out opportunities to mentor those who come from different lived experiences than me. And I think that's maybe the next challenge for me to take away and maybe others. I am very excited to broaden my platform. Like, frankly, this does mean a lot in terms of how I'll be able to pay it forward. So thank you for that opportunity. It's can be lonely but rewarding. And it's such a fun career path, and it'll be fun to do more together. So thank you so much.
Next, we're going to celebrate Susan Hunt Stevens. Susan is the founder of WeSpire, an employee experience technology platform focused on engaging people in environmental and social impact initiatives. WeSpire has been recognized for its innovative work, including in 2022, WeSpire received a World-Changing Idea Award from Fast Company for its pioneering use of behavior design to improve impact outcomes. And Susan herself has been recognized in a number of ways, including the EY Entrepreneur of the Year for New England, Meaningful Business 100, Environmental Leader 100, Boston Business Journal Women of Influence, and most importantly, the Women in Sustainability Leadership Award. You're welcome.
This one. So I want you all to fast forward or back forward to December 15th, 2023. So I had just come back from COP28. I was jet lagged beyond belief. Many of you were there, Kristen. And I had been in a battle for 3 months to buy back WeSpire from our acquirer, who had decided it was no longer strategic after just 6 months. And I walked into a meeting with the person I was reporting to, who told me they were not willing to sell it despite having found outside buyers to spin it back out, and that I didn't have a job as of January 2nd. That was 1 o'clock on December 15th. At 3 o'clock on December 15th, I got an email that said, "You have won a Women in Sustainability Leadership Award, and you need to be in Phoenix on February 14th. I cried for 2 reasons. One was that I knew the outcome for WeSpire wasn't good, and what was happening was going to happen, and I had no control. I sold my company. But the other is it said, "You have this, girl. You got this. And you belong in sustainability." And what people don't realize is that I've worked in sustainability for 14 plus years. I built this business thanks to people in this room and previous award winners at GreenBiz, who I'll name in a minute. But I had always identified as a technology executive and a tech founder. And if you think being lonely in sustainability, try being a female tech founder. Only 4% of venture capital goes to women technology founders. Speaking of which, then throw in clean tech and sustainability in 2013 and 2014, and you're like, you know, there is no capital. I raised $18 million for WeSpire, $50,000 at a time from different funders, strategics, et cetera. The roller coaster was insane. I was standing outside Silicon Valley Bank when the FDIC took over in March of 2023. all of our money was there. And I didn't know if I could make payroll that next Monday. It has been the craziest adventure to build this business in sustainability. But the reason we were successful was because of the women in sustainability. And so the women in sustainability were Cindy Ortega, who I didn't know was a 2014 inductee until I saw her photo and I just texted her and she was like, amazing. It was Gwen Magida. It was Catherine Winkler. It was Cynthia Curtis. Chris Hagler put me on her podcast and I got at least 5 sales thanks to that. You know, and so it really truly was the women who were sustainability leaders in these companies who took a bet on a female founder in technology, because what matters more than your ability to raise venture capital is the ability to have revenue. And it was women who built this business. So it sucks what happened to WeSpire, I'll be the first to say. But the other part of it was I found myself over the last 8 weeks really doing this very interesting twist, which is when people ask me what I did, I stopped saying, I'm a tech executive, I'm a tech founder, et cetera. I said, I work in sustainability. And that is what I do. And that is because this award showed up at 3 p.m. on December 15th and reminded me this was my passion. Technology was the way I delivered on my passion, but this is what matters. As I said last night, what matters is the humans. We've created this problem for ourselves, but the only way we get out of it is because we are amazing at what we do. We are the most innovative, creative, incredible group of people. When all of us show up at the table and bring everything we have to this problem, we will solve this. And the reality is the people in this room and the people we will influence will get us out of this mess. And I firmly believe that if we stay focused on what matters, which is not the technology, but the fact that it's about sustainability. The other thing that matters immensely, we mentioned this earlier, but I really want to shout out a couple people in this room because they are poster children for what we need. So my +1 arm candy tonight is Jim Hanna. Because Jim has been an extraordinary friend and colleague through all of this, and in my mind is so emblematic of what it takes to champion people from all backgrounds. David Fiss, where are you? So David is another, in my mind, ally extraordinaire who shows up and ensures that the people in this room are elevated and promoted. And when somebody doesn't treat us well, they call them out. And so we need all of us in this room, every woman to back what we do, but we need every man in this room and every man not in this room to back what we do too, because this is how we get out of this mess. So thank you so much, WSLA. You made my day on a day that otherwise would have really been awful. But more importantly, for reminding me that first and foremost, I'm a leader in sustainability. And second, I have to know a ton about technology, but it's the sustainability that matters. Thank you.
Next, we're going to celebrate Kristen Sullivan. So Kristen is an audit and assurance partner with Deloitte & Touche, where she leads sustainability and ESG services and is also the practice leader for Deloitte's Tamatsu Limits Global Audit and Assurance, Sustainability and Climate Services. That's quite a mouthful. And the practice leader for the Integrated Reporting Community of Practice. She's been engaged in developing ESG standards and frameworks, including being a member of the GRI community and chair of the AICPA, Sustainability Advisory and Assurance Task Force, and also chair of the International Sustainability Standards Board. She's published a number of publications and been recognized as an ESG influencer in a number of publications, including Top 50 ESG Influencers list on Analytica, and recognized in Diligent 2023's Modern Governance 100 nominees for being a diversity and climate trailblazers, and number 10 on the 2020 Top 20 Corporate Sustainability Influence Leaders list. So, and she's adding on to that, of course, the WSLA award, which is the most important one of all. So welcome up here, Kristen.
No, seriously, I do apologize for that introduction. Well, good evening and so pleased to be here. I am so thrilled and honored to be joining this esteemed group of just inspirational and such accomplished women. I've been with Deloitte for over 20, almost 28 years, I should say. And I often say I led our practice for over a decade. And more has happened in the last 10 months, 10 days, 10 minutes in this space. I think we all recognize that sustainability presents the most critical business transformation opportunity of our generation or more. And we're really just getting started. It's such a tremendous privilege that I've had for the past decade plus to really build a team and just an incredible way of embracing a new way of incubating a practice within what is the largest professional services firm in the world. And so certainly some of the comments from my fellow recipients in terms of it is lonely at times. I'm incredibly fortunate to have been guided by a common phrase that one of our inspirational leaders in this space had referred to many years ago, that accountants will save the world. And generally that does prompt quite a response, like it did right there. I think the point being, really striving for the transparency, the rigor, the accountability that's so incredibly important to unlock the innovation and capital at scale that we really need to finance this transition has just been so incredibly rewarding. I'm also inspired every day by the team of colleagues that I have the privilege to work with, many of whom are here today. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being who you are and helping us drive this important work that we drive at Deloitte. Another commented, I'm so inspired by my family, and my mother is here with me tonight as my plus one. Has always been my biggest cheerleader and has been such an inspiration, and I'm so thrilled. I know my daughter would be incredibly impressed if I was going to get a tattoo tomorrow. Unfortunately, I do have to leave. But with that, I really am so honored to receive this award, this recognition of the incredible work that we do every day, and importantly, that I do for my 5-year-old daughter and for all generations to come. So thank you again.
Okay, we're going to recognize somebody else, Mallory Taub today. Mallory is the Sustainability Director at Gensler, where she collaborates across disciplines to turn climate goals into action. Mallory's role includes being a founding member of the firm's first Climate Action Studio. She's also the Northeast Region Practice Area Leader for Climate Action and Sustainability Services. And she's also the manager of the Gensler's product sustainability standards that set minimum sustainability criteria for materials. She supports emerging sustainability leaders through her service as part of the Urban Design Forum's Forefront Steering Committee, the MSS Advisory Board at NINSED, and as a mentor for the undergraduate women for the Brown University's Women's Launchpad. I love the mentoringship, and we do that as part of WSLA as well. So let's welcome Mallory up to the podium.
Hi, I'm Mallory and I'm a Bean. I really appreciated the opportunity to hear Indigenous wisdom earlier tonight and hear, the importance of getting back to where you are from. And while we heard earlier about going back across multiple generations, I'll go back to where I was born, which is a very different place from here. I'm from a rural community in Vermont. It's very environmentally progressive and economically really dependent on winters and agriculture, among other things. And And I grew up thinking everyone cared about sustainability. And it was a real shock to my system when I found out that was not the case later in life, whether that was in college or in grad school. So I was very interested in architecture early on. I work at Gensler, it's a global architecture firm, and really interested in how design shapes the spaces where we live, work, and play. And in architecture school, that's where a lot of this came to the fore. The sustainability was, oh, those are your electives on the side, and let's focus on the design and its beauty and its theoretical ideas, and that just fundamentally, pedagogically, like didn't make any sense to me at all. So I transferred schools and ended up in a program that focused on building science that really went deep in understanding how buildings impact the environment, as well as the indoor environmental quality for people inside. And that really pulled together architecture, engineering, construction, and really the importance of working together. So we've heard a lot about partnerships tonight. I definitely really, that resonated with me a lot. And so from there, I went into sustainability consulting specific to the built environment. And I think especially that first jump into that first job and really the first 5 years of my career, mentorship really made it happen for me. In particular, during that time, there were several women in particular that really did open those doors, take me under their wing, and really help me grow in the context of large global companies. Again, like very opposite from the original context of coming from a small town. So mentorship is really important to me. I was really excited to hear that that was a pillar of this organization. And I try to pay that forward by serving as a mentor formally in programs, and also making being as generous as possible with my time to people who reach out to me for one-off chats through LinkedIn or however people find me. So let's see. So what do I do now? So working as a sustainability director in architecture, I get to work on some really amazing buildings that are really pushing the limits of what's possible. So I've been working on a project for Google that we'll be able to talk about more later this month. And all of that is really exciting. But the really hard part about working in architecture is that we're 40% of greenhouse gas emissions. That is a huge piece. So I think in future Green Biz sessions, we'll probably be hearing a little bit more about the built environment. And the challenging piece that comes along with that, or a specific piece that's endemic to working in an architecture firm, is one amazing building at a time is too slow for the climate crisis that you're in. So what do you do if you're working at a firm where it's one building at a time, and that's your core area of expertise? So what I've been really trying to focus on the last couple of years are find the levers to go faster beyond just one building at a time. So one way I've been able to do that at my company is to set minimum sustainability criteria for the materials that we specify. We design over 1 billion square feet per year. So if we can have those cool, amazing projects, the Googles that are really pushing the limit, what can we do to raise the bar for every single project? It's more of a policy lever. And so every project that we do as of last month now has that minimum level of sustainability for the materials in our projects. And so that was really a masterclass for me in stakeholder engagement. I did not go to business school, so this past couple of days, hearing very much from the business community, it's been really interesting to hear how people have approached these types of strategic initiatives to make organizational change happen. And so going forward, most of my work now with my team that I co-lead in the studio that we have, that space in New York City, is really trying to work at the portfolio scale. So if you are a large organization and you build a lot of buildings, how can you work in design and construction standards to put requirements there to go faster? Or you have a portfolio of existing buildings, how can you strategically figure out how to decarbonize them with the money that you have in an intelligent way that gives you the greatest impact with the fewest amount of moves, again, to go faster. And so that type of problem, it's not just architecture who can solve it on our own. It's not just engineers who can solve it on our own. It's not just in-house sustainability teams that can solve it on their own. We heard earlier, sustainability is a team sport. I wholeheartedly believe that to get out of our silos and work together. I feel like I've just been drafted to the most amazing team that gets to do this. So I feel like I'm standing with giants, or maybe in sustainability, standing amongst sequoias. And I can't wait to hear from my cohort and from this alumni group, like what keeps you up at night. Maybe it's not my area of expertise, but let's put our heads together, try and figure it out. Really looking forward to tomorrow and learning more about you. And thank you for the recognition.
So now we have someone who is zooming in remotely. I'm hoping that we can set that up. Is that happening somewhere in the back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. All right. I thought we were going to be able to
Awesome.
see you, but we can hear you. It's almost like the voice from the gods. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lourdes, we're going to celebrate you. I'm going to give a little bit of your bio and then let you have some remarks. You're missing a hug from me, but I will send it virtually. So Lourdes is an architect with more than 17 years of experience in sustainable building industry, including as the founder of 3 Environmental Consulting, a company specializing in environmental technology consulting. Lourdes's company has participated in more than 190 sustainable projects in different countries and has certified more than 100 projects, of which 93 are LEED certified. She has worked on internationally recognized projects in the US, Australia, in the Southeast, Asia, and Central America, and Mexico. And she's been recognized with a number of designations and awards, and there are several of them, including the LEED Fellow TM designation, the Santander Scholarship for SME Companies, the E100 Prize for High Value Entrepreneurs. She's currently a member of the LEED Steering Committee, the Chipinque Board of Trustees, and the San Pedro Parques Citizen Council. So, okay, so Lourdes, take it away. We'd love to hear about your work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So first of all, I'm really honored and thankful to be receiving this award. I feel humbled to have been selected and at the same time really inspired to increase the amount of positive impact that we create in our planet. When I was 14 years old, I read a quote from Shirley Chisholm, an American educator and politician, that said, "Service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living in this world." I've been overly privileged to live in this amazing planet, and since becoming aware of this fact, I have been lucky enough to identify my purpose and my vocation to serve. As I began working in sustainability when I was 20 years old, receiving this award is a calling to continue paying what is due and to find ways to ripple the effects of every action that we do. I'm thankful to everyone that in different stages of my career have trusted, supported, and shared with me their knowledge, but also their wisdom. I'm also thankful for those who referred me into this community and who helped me with this process. I see WSLA's mission as a way of recognizing that we are blessed for the opportunity to live in this planet and to serve others. So I humbly receive it with the intent of growing awareness of the urgency to make sustainability the new business as usual, to promote advancement and technology in my country and in Latin America, and to support and develop new sustainable leaders with equity and inclusivity. As I'm the last one of the new alumni that will speak tonight, I would like to take the advantage to leave all of us the forever homework of executing every day this mission. I wish I could be in person celebrating and learning so much from all of you, but I'm expected to give birth to a baby girl at some point this week, which is another big opportunity to positively impact our world. But even though I wanted to, the doctors did not allow me to fly. Even so, I can be in person with you. I can imagine the purposeful, adrenaline-charged shot of passion and inspiration and energy that listening to stories of this amazing group of individuals is. So I thank the organizers for the time given to all of us to share a bit, but especially for creating such an organization that makes us commit to pay it forward for the better of all. Congratulations to you all and muchas gracias.
Thank you, Lois. Hopefully you heard that clapping and all the energy in the room, and wishing you the very best with your birth of your daughter. It's amazing. So thank you for sharing that with us. And we have one last awardee who cannot be with us and cannot be zoomed in because she's somewhere very remote. So she's not, so I'm going to read her bio. So Christina Skonberg, and Christina is the Director of Sustainability and Mission at the Chicago-based food company Simple Mills, where she leads the business strategy to advance human and planetary health. Christina oversees a series of global regenerative agriculture programs and an innovation framework that embeds ecosystem and dietary metrics of success into the product design process. And prior to Simple Mills, Christina held multiple roles at food companies and businesses supporting mission-driven food companies, including leading sustainability for the brands Annie's and Cascadian Farms. And she also as serving as the Director of Operations at the Good Food Awards. So we'll all clap for her and hope to be able to see her next year here. So I have to say thank you for WSLA for letting me do the really fun part, which was to honor all these amazing women. Good stuff.
Thank you, Angela. Okay, spoiler alert, we've gone over on time. We've lost the remote on the clicker, so it's off the rails. Can you please help me advance? Thank you. I just want to take a few minutes to acknowledge and showcase our judges who helped lead through all the application submissions to narrow it down to the 10 amazing women that you saw tonight. Another round of applause for these amazing women, please. It's really a hard task to read through all those applications because you want everyone to win because it's just so inspiring. But we had to narrow it down. And so a debt of gratitude and very much thank you to these women here, Dagu Urton, Christine Brunel-Ligny, and Heather Clancy, who joined me on this journey. And now we're trying to speed things up, but I'm going to introduce another amazing board member, Maureen Eisbrenner, who is expertly leading our fundraising efforts and is going to share a few words.
Well, I'm going to do this very quickly since we're over time, but as we come to a close for this wonderful evening, celebrating the 10th anniversary of WSLA, I'm deeply honored to stand in front of you as both the CEO of Urban Co. and as a WSLA board member spearheading fundraising. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our generous sponsors whose unwavering support has made tonight's event possible. Your commitment to championing sustainability and empowering women in leadership roles is truly commendable. I'd like to also take a moment, oh good, it's up there, thank you. I'd like to take a moment to express my sincere appreciation to everyone who's contributed to our silent auction. If you haven't seen this board, this represents our silent auction. Your donations have not only added excitement to tonight's festivities, but have also played a critical role in our fundraising efforts. For those who haven't yet had the opportunity to contribute, there's still time to make a difference. Every contribution supports our mission and makes a powerful impact. Also, everyone in the room, if I could ask for you to kind of come up here before you leave, scan that code, and please pass this along. The more people that bid on the items in our silent auction, the more money we raise for this wonderful effort for our community. And to the women who have been awarded this evening, for myself, being awarded the Women of Sustainability Leadership was in itself a tremendous honor. Yet the true value of this recognition extended far beyond the accolade. It opened doors to forming friendships, extended beyond just the friendships, but also it helped with gaining support, and then also, you know, this collaborative effort that we have as a community. So as we share our goal together in sustainability, I just want to welcome the class of 2024. We are very excited to have you on board. I'm so impressed with the women that won tonight. The speeches that you gave were incredible. The things you have been through together collectively, we're gonna make this world a better place. So thank you, and cheers to everybody. And here's to another decade of women empowering in sustainability. Thank you.
Does this one work? Okay. So I have the distinct honor of closing this event, and I'm just so proud of everybody. And I want to mention that our awards application period opens next year in October. So please nominate all of the amazing women that you know so that we can continue this amazing award program and continue to build a better world for all of us. And I also just want to mention that since it's Valentine's Day, there's so much love going around in this room. And I just have thoroughly loved meeting everybody and seeing all of you here. And this is really a dream come true. So I hope all of you have a wonderful evening and happy Valentine's Day. Thank you.